Hey guys, and welcome to episode, I think it's episode 18. It is also the final episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with DuPage Pistol Shrimp. Last we left you, we were in the off season of, right here, 2029 was the last season that we were going a season at a time. We got swept in the postseason. At that point, I just decided that I was going to just play until we won. And you can see, I mean, we finished first place. What, 8 years in a row. Made the playoffs, obviously, all 8 years. And then finally won the World Series this year. So let's look at this way. So 106 and 56. Um, so I guess if we go back, so let's take a look at 2029 was the last season that we played that I played my half season splits, and load this up here. And that was Hector Flores's rookie campaign. He had a second year. This was his second year, his first full season. Really good year, 6.1 WAR. Acuna had another good year for us. The average was a bit down, but he had a good year. Alex Padilla came on strong. Darian Perez started a bit of a slide. Royce Lewis only played the 1 year for us. David Del Rio continued to hit well. We would end up trading Del Rio, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. Why did it do that? So what are we in now? We're in 2030. The following season, 2030, we finished 95 and 67. And one of the names that's on this list that would be pivotal in helping us win the title in 2031 was David Rodriguez, and we'll show you his stats in a minute. But we picked up Jose Salas from Miami. It was Salas in exchange for one of our pitchers. What is his name? JD Thompson. Yeah, so we picked JD Thompson and a couple of minor leaguers, or actually a couple of our big leaguers. Jimmy Mitchell, Kenneth Quintanilla, bullpen arm. I think starter. No, he's a bullpen guy. So he pitched in the bullpen for him for a couple of years. He's played okay for him. Mitchell's played okay for him in the field. And then we got Salas in return. And Salas hasn't been great. He was pretty good this past season. Wasn't very good last year, but we wanted a shortstop because we let Royce Lewis go. So we picked up Jose Salas, put him at short. But he wasn't very good last year. It's hurt. Portion of it. Flores with another good season. Darian Perez, his average was starting to slip. We moved on from Darian Perez actually after this season. We let him sign with the Dodgers, signed him to a 7-year, $26 million a year deal or something like that. So we let him go. And we've been kind of going with a mishmash at second as we traded Del Rio. You can see he got off to a pretty bad start in 2030, only putting up a 729 OPS, and nobody liked him. So we traded him. Sent him to St. Louis in exchange for starting pitcher Henry Delgado. And Delgado was good last year, or 2 years ago. Not great this past season, although he did strike out a ton of batters. Delgado here, you can see good stuff, 4 great pitches. He was 11 and 6 with a 5.24 ERA this year, but struck out 201 in 166 innings. Still on the league minimum, so he was pretty good at the bottom of our lineup, or at the bottom of our rotation. And then we just sort of went with a hodgepodge at second base over the course of the last 2 years, but it's worked out okay. If we look at pitching, last year. Bobby Knorr was just, I mean, unbelievable season. We used him as a stopper, pitched in 81 games, struck out 164 and 100, a reliever with a 5 WAR. I mean, that's just crazy. Danny Soto had a losing record, but actually put up a 4.5 WAR as a starter for him. So he was actually quite good last year. Just a little bit unlucky with his record. Sui-Shan Yu, back from injury, did what he had been doing previous to the injury, which was, um, you know, uh, uh, 200 innings, ERA right around 4. Jose Corniel really took a step back. He hasn't been very good, and now he's hurt. But that's okay because we won the title. So we picked up Joe Ryan for a year, and he was pretty good for us. We got kind of a 1-year rental out of him in the 5 spot. He was pretty good. So that was 2030. So let's take a look at this past season, and then we'll look at sort of the team history, and then we'll call it a series. So 106 and 56. You can see offensively we were dominant again. Pitching wise, our starters weren't very good, but our bullpen was rock solid, and we got it done. We suffered some injuries. We lost a couple of our starters, so we had to move Phil Owens into the rotation, and he actually did quite well. But you can see middle of our order was actually led by 2 rookies, Pat Grabowski and David Rodriguez. We had a couple of 23 and 24-year-old rookies who each hit 50 home runs and drove in over 110. So our lineup was just fearsome, top to bottom. Johnny Brito, who we picked up in a trade a couple years back, moved into second and started playing very, very well defensively, and he hit 26 home runs as well. So up and down the lineup, we had power, and things looked. So if we look at, so you can see Grabowski and Acuna each with 5.9 WAR. Acuna was hurt for part of the year. This is the last year coming in. This next upcoming season, 2032, will be the last year on his $40 million 4-year contract, and I'm okay with it. He played pretty well. He put up 2 players post more than 1,000 OPS this year. Hector Flores was close at 986. Flores continues to mash. Alex Padilla, excuse me, continues to do what he does. He's about to get really expensive, so I'm not sure if I want to move on from him and put Grabowski at first. I've had Grabowski playing left all year. I think maybe moving him to first and moving on from Padilla is an option. We'll see. Rodriguez was simply a power hitter. I mean, he only hit 260, but put up a 644 slugging. I mean, that ISO is just ridiculous. 964 OPS, even stole 19 bases. Bo Naylor had a really nice bounce back season at age 31 after struggling a year ago. Put up 822 OPS, stole 15 bases, 3.7 WAR. Jose Salas was pretty good in limited time. Caden Wallace, we actually declined to offer him arbitration, making him a free agent. He wanted like $9.5 million or something, and then we ended up bringing him back on a $1.5 million deal, and he played really well. He did exactly what he had been doing for us as a right hand. What he had been doing for us year after year as a right-handed bat. So I think we're going to go through the same thing again. His arbitration estimate's like $7.5 million this year or something, so we'll probably pay him again. See if we can bring him back cheap. Danny Ramirez was another youngster, another young left-handed hitter. Last year hit 12 home runs in only 121 at-bats. This past season, 25 home runs and 376 at-bats. Again, not much contact, not much average, but a really high slugging. So a lot of power out of this lineup, top to bottom. Just ferocious lineup. Pitching was not a very good year. Bobby Knorr, again, led us in WAR as a reliever. Bit of a step back compared to last year, but, I mean, he was still dominant. 175 strikeouts in 119 innings, 10-2. Danny Soto put up about almost half the WAR he put up last year, but won 16 games this season. Sui-Shan Yu, again, around 200 innings. Elgato wasn't very good. Sean Cervantes has basically become a reliever. Anytime I try to use him in the rotation at this point, he's just terrible. So we've been using him as a reliever. Hector Flores even got a couple of starts for us this year, as his pitching ratings actually are not bad at all. So he is absolutely someone who I could see us using both as a starter or as a pitcher and a hitter next year. DJ Gautier had another solid season in the bullpen for us, 3.43 ERA, 94 strikeouts, 60 innings. So our pitching wasn't great, but it was good enough in the postseason, and we went on to win it all. So if we look at playoffs last year, so you can kind of see how things went for us. We defeated the Detroit Tigers 3-1. Went on to beat the Red Sox in the ALCS. And in the World Series, we defeated the Miami Marlins in 7. So we finally got it done, guys. So let's quickly take a look at our history. See, we started back in 2021. We were 63-99. Very quick turnaround. 3 seasons of under 500. Then bam, in 2024, we went 104-58. And then we did not look back, winning at least 95 games every year for an 8-year period, winning the American League Central every single season, and finally winning it all in 2031. Look at our all-time leader. Our all-time leaders: Alex Padilla is our all-time average guy. Darian Perez, our all-time on base percentage. Walt Hart, who we actually moved on from a year ago, went to the Yankees, and he hit a .194 for the Yankees this past season. Our all-time slugging percentage leader, Pat Grabowski, and David Rodriguez, our 2 rookies this past season, set the team record for slugging percentage in the season. Walt Hart leads us in on-base percentage for a single season, and Alex Padilla with a .341 average in 9 is the all-time high. Walt Hart, our career leader in OPS. Pat Grabowski last year set a team record for OPS in a season. Career WAR, Darian Perez, no surprise there. Old friend Jian Q set the team record for WAR in a single season all the way back in 2022 with a 7 WAR season. He was really kind of signaled the turnaround for our team when we picked him up. Darian Perez led us in games. He will be passed more than likely by Bo Naylor this upcoming season. Old friend Lewin Diaz, who's continuing to play, is 3rd. Diaz, since he left the Shrimp, has played for Oakland, Cincinnati, Colorado, and Seattle. Continuing to do what he did for us, which is just hit home runs. 23 home runs with Oakland, 40 with Cincinnati. Didn't play much with Colorado in 2030, and then hit 31 home runs a year ago. So he's 34 years old now. 307 career home runs for the former Shrimp first baseman. Darian Perez leads in at-bats. Perez is going to lead in just about every offensive category. Leads in runs scored. Hector Flores led in single-season runs. Darian Perez leads in hits with 1,090. Alex Padilla, 2 top hit seasons in team history, 2028 and 2029. Then this past season, he had 100 and came up just 1 hit shy of 200. Hector Flores with 204 hits a year ago. Darian Perez leads in total bases. Nobody cares about singles, but Darian Perez singles. Alex Padilla leads us in doubles, 205 doubles and only 2,600 at bats. He has 4 of the top 5 double seasons in team history. David Del Rio with 57 doubles in 2029. Noelvi Marte, our former shortstop, leads us in, all-time in triples. Looks like he's been playing in the Australian Baseball League the last few seasons. Darian Perez leads in home runs with 260. Rodriguez and Grabowski were 1-2 last year and all-time in a single season. Lewin Diaz leads us in RBIs. Darian Perez is 1 RBI behind him. And then Bo Naylor is 3rd in RBIs. Alex Padilla with the 2 top RBI seasons in Shrimp history. Alex Verdugo on that list. He's another one who helped us with the turnaround as we started to come around. Jian Q leads us to stolen bases, which isn't a surprise. If you remember, we were a running team those first few seasons with Jian Q and Khalil Lee and Alec Thomas and people like that. We ran a bunch when this team was first started. Darian Perez leads us in walks. That's no surprise there. Yon Q topped with 100 walks. Hector Flores already been hit by 64 pitches in his career, 25 hit by pitches in 2029. Darian Perez leads in strikeouts. Lazaro Armentaros, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. Led us in strikeouts has this team single season high for strikeouts in a season, all the way back in 2020, 256. Let's take a look at the pitching leaders. Danny Soto is our career ERA leader. Louis Patino had that one really good year for us, and then that was about it for him. 2.60. Emilio Vargas had one really good season for us, and then that was it for him as well. Sean Cervantes is our all-time wins leader. Swishan Yu is second. Braxton Garrett is third. Emilio Vargas and Louis Patino each won 18 games in their lone seasons with us. Losses, Sean Cervantes leads us in losses. Pablo Lopez lost 16 games back in 2024. Remember, he was part of that big trade with Miami that got us Lewin Diaz, kind of helped turn our team and our fortunes around. Phil Owens with an all-time high 692 winning percentage. Single season, Danny Soto was 16-3 back in 2029. Saves, no surprise here. Marshall Kozowski led us in saves. He was our closer for, I want to say, 4 or 5 seasons. At 4 years here, he was our closer. He's now retired. Bobby Knorr is second, and he'll catch him eventually. He's only 6. Haifeng Yap led us in saves back in 27, single season, 43. Career WAR, Swishan Yu leads us in career WAR out of starters. Louis Patino, best single season WAR out of a starting pitcher. Bobby Knorr, a reliever, finished third, and he's third all time in WAR out of pitchers, and 164. Shows you exactly how dominant he has been. Haifeng Yap leads us in games pitched. Knorr will pass him next season. Knorr is 1-2 in single game or single season games pitched. Game started, Sean Cervantes. And you can see we only got a couple of names here. Cervantes and you take up 6 of the top 7 spots. Complete games, we've only had 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 complete games in our career. Sean Cervantes has 3 of them. Pablo Lopez has 3 of them. Shutouts, Swishan Yu has 2. Got them both at 28. Sean Cervantes leads in innings pitched. Cervantes is really going to be our leader in everything. He's been around since 2020, 2025, really. So he's just finished his 7th full season with us. So it's no surprise that he leads us in just about everything. But now that he's a reliever, I think you'll start to see him slide down some of these lists. But home runs, Sean Cervantes, Shane Bieber gave up 40 his lone full season with us, but was actually really good in that season. He's been really good for Texas since they got 13-10 with us. 4 WAR season that year. He's been tremendous with Texas. On pace, he's closing in on 200 wins. Braxton Garrett leads in walks. Walks per 9. Phil Owens, 1.9 walks per 9. Strikeouts, Cervantes. Soto with the all-time record for strikeouts, 209, set a year ago. Whip, Phil Owens. Shane Bieber had the best single season. Opponent average, that Louis Patino season in 2027, where he went, 18-3, 18-2, something like that. 18-4 with a 2.60 ERA. He was really, really good that year. It's a shame he couldn't hang on to his control. I would have liked hanging on to him. There is opponent OPS, single season, Louis Patino, and then Danny Soto has 2 and 3 on that list. So Danny Soto looks like he's going to be a rock for us as we move forward. If we look at finish off the Page Pistol Shrimp playthrough, let's take a look at some of the all-time Major League Baseball leaders, and then we'll call it an episode. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to play through my Giants playthrough until we win it all. And then from there, I might take a small break I have a couple of ideas that I want to start. I only want to do one series at a time, so I have to figure out which one I want. But I have a couple in mind going forward. So home runs, still Barry Bonds. Anybody getting close? Mike Trout is fourth. He broke 700 home runs this year, but looks like he's on his last legs. He only hit 9 home runs a year ago in limited playing time for Atlanta. That's a shame. I was hoping he would get there. So, and he's 40, so he's got to hit another 55 home runs or something like that after the age of 40. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll see. So, finishing building report. I just want to look at home runs and hits and stuff. So, Joey Gallo finished 6th all-time in home runs with 676. Cody Bellinger's still going at age 36 with Charlotte. He finished his 3rd full season with Charlotte. He's got 636 home runs. Machado's still going. He's 11th all-time. Alec Boehm, they're only 35. He's only played 10 seasons. Played the last 3 in Texas after being in Philly. He continues to mash. Bryce Harper is retired. I think this was his last season. With 569 runs. Matt Olson's still going. 37. There's some home run names. I don't think anything else is going to change. We'll take a look at hits, but it's not really what baseball is about about the home run. Let's see if there's any. Machado broke 3,000 hits. He's at almost 3,100. Anybody else closing? Trout's at 27.97. He's probably going to come up short. So, I can come back and I can do a follow-up episode if there's anybody that you want to take a look at and teams you want to look at their histories or anything. And I'd be happy to kind of go through it and look at some of the players and some of the teams if there are individual players and stuff that you want me to take a look at. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. Once I noticed that the views were starting to drop on it, I didn't want to I don't know. I just felt like, maybe there was a little bit of fatigue because I was putting out so many videos, and that's fine. So, I figured I'd finish this one off, and we'll get through the Giants one, and then we'll come up with something else to do. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and until we talk again, everybody take care now. Bye-bye.